Good day. 809 a.m. 2012. This is called a technology, and it has been on a bull fire just as we had anticipated from that low bear of last year. How far it would want to keep going and breaking tops on lower volume? Well, a move is a move. We're overbought. The bull needs to be careful in the beginning of the bull rally, and the bull will have to take some profits into the resistance levels of the overbought rally until we pull back where technology would be viable again. But here are all the stocks in the name. You got the Apples, the Ciscos, the Broadcoms, all of the ones that have been doing well in that. What I would also like to show is the credit CSFB technology, which is called CTNCH. It'll take a moment here. The weekly CTN.X, CSFB Technology Index, is one that had made its bottoms down here on the 200 weekly moving average. It too, in the bull cycle, has a bull weekly buy signal here. Okay, and we are going to continue to watch where we get to overbought levels on some of these. And we're at a major resistance level. And the CTN X, and we cover all of these, even during the bear runs, we were short, but now we're long these things because you got a bull side run, and these are all the names. And the markets have taken a very good computer technology, the XCI.X, these are going to be the names in here. And then you got Apple, you got Adobe, you got SanDisk in here, you got IBM, Big Blue. But look at here. Here's my point. This bull rally is overbought, and I will short this bull rally only for one reason, because every great bull rally run that starts will have a pullback. And when you get the broader market that's overbought right here, hey, it was great from here to here. This was the 2011 lows. These were the areas that we've gone parabolically up with the gap that started, and we've had the 6th week being this week right to the top of that resistance, and you're overbought in the computer technology. When I go to the Dow Jones, the ECM, and I look at this ECM.X, Dow Jones Internet heavy weighted one, you got the Yahoos, the Pricelines, Netflixes, you've got the CRM that we do, you got the eBay, you got your Googles in here, and you got your Amazon in this one. Now, what I will say, that it hasn't totally come out of its bear totally yet, but it's awfully close. As soon as that MACD hits that buy signal, you'll have a new bull. The thing that you want to know, though, that in all of these, in the shorter time frame, this bull is going to hit price exhaustion areas, and they have to pull back. So sell into the rally and buy back on great pullbacks. One of the other things that we love is this one here, this internet index. It's right back up here to its major high. That was when we were shorting back in calendar 11 in this one. And this one here, we have lots of analysis on it. And it's in a bull run, and it's had a new beginning bull run with some of the great names. Earnings scorecard on some, well, hey, they marked their earnings down. Look, you got stimulus is working. You're 88.2% in that index, and we're at an overbought area of the calendar 2012. Learn to take profits. The ones that drove it higher will be the first ones that we'll look at. The Morgan Stanley Internet one called the MOX.X, that's this one here. And it too is coming up to major resistance levels. Okay, and it's important to know where your 2012 bull rally is, but bull rallies do have to have pullbacks. Okay, and yes, this one is in an overbought area as well. But once again, you just got to know where these things are working. As far as understanding the Philadelphia SOX index that led rallies, okay, here's the SOX, and it's a good view for you to see that when semis were up here and we were shorting last year, you can see here that we have come up to a major point, but most importantly, down here, we're at about 89%. That means that the bull rally in semis are getting overbought. That means that the individual names. But you got a weekly buy signal. Here's a weekly sell signal all that time. You finally got to the bull side of things, and bull pullbacks will be paid. Just remember, sell into exhaustion. Now, when we get into the software stocks, we've looked at quite a few of them, but transportations is the Dow Jones Transportations. That's a DJT. Look at this thing hitting that at 5,400. And look at its rally at 95% overbought. Sorry, here are the names in the transports, and I am sorry. The leadership will pull back, and there'll be great pullback trades. But then again, you've had a calendar weekly buy signal in January up here to the high, and you're overbought, and you will pull back in the broader sector. And some of the names in there that are overbought will pull back as well. Just like we did in 2011 when we were over here and took this thing to the bottoms when they were buyable. Now you've got a calendar monthly 2012 bull in play that is overbought, that has to have a pullback, period. Now, when I look at the NASDAQ transportations called the TRANX, here it is. It too had made its weekly peak up here. It too, in that transportation sector, has fared well. It's overbought on the weekly levels, but bull rallies can stay overbought. What happens in bull rallies is that the higher you get overbought, it's called price exhaustion. You have to have pullbacks in bulls, and you will. The bull will have a pullback, and then you'll get a chance to buy lower. Right now, you got to focus on fading the top of the overbought to support, get out of the short, and get net long. Now, let's go to another thing that I find very most important is the GSTI Internet, which is a Goldman Sachs one. It's at its highs as well. And the financials that I want to cover is a key BW banking. This is what's led a rally. They have not rallied in 3 years. However, I will put the trend tool on here and zoom this part of the weekly chart up. Now, what has happened in calendar 2012, as you can see here, that's the TBW Bank Index. You're coming back up to the major wall of resistances. You've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up weeks. You've got a weekly signal in that banking area. It hasn't had that. It's overbought at 93%. Look for the upper resistances. The ones that are in here that make moves, there are good ones in here, okay? And there's a couple of banks in here that are worth having. Now, when you take a look at the S&P Banking Index, the BIX.X, this one too, that has not been involved in any rallies, are finally playing a part in this bull rally. And the thing about it is, they've come up 130 to 143. That's quite a movement. And the names have moved up to overbought levels, and you got financials working in there. Now, in the security broker dealer called the XBD. Now, what we got? Morgan Stanley, you got Goldman that's overbought, and Morgan Stanley is in here, and that Goldman is in here. They really moved the indexes in there. Now, let's take a look at where we're at here. They have finally got a calendar 2012 bull start. Just remember, though, they're the most beaten down where people were buying. Whether that they're going to keep going or not, they have not gotten a weekly buy signal yet. But when we do get a weekly buy signal, that bull will be in play in the broker-dealer. That I can tell you right now. And the NASDAQ banking area called the BANX.X, that's going to be this one. And that's the NASDAQ composite banking. And of course, it's broad-based in this banking area, in the financial banking area, financial instruments, and all the names that go with them. Just let me tell you that in calendar 2012, they've started off in their bull mode. They've got a weekly buy signal in there. That hasn't happened in a number of years. But you're overbought. Once again, you're overbought. Sell into the rally and buy the pullback in the bull. The bull is getting price exhaustion. Let's go to the cyclical area, the CYX. Now, that's where the caterpillars are here. This is very important, MMT. CYC.X. We've done lots of them. We shorted this whole thing down. We've been long. The thing about it is, on this particular movement, here are the stocks. You got Deere. You got the Caterpillar. Okay? And you've got some ones that have really performed in here are those two names. And you've even had, to some degree, the FedEx trade and that FCX in here that we had owned and bought, and we're going to buy more of as we move along. What I will tell you is got a weekly bull signal on a buy, where markets are getting more of the weekly buy signal rather than these bear moves down, and that in a shorter time frame, you're in the overbought area of the bull rally. The bull rally is limited in the short term, meaning you go up, bull rallies will pull back. That means that the broader market has to pull back like today. Once you get exhausted in these areas, you can clearly see that the Dow and all of these things, these are just not much of a pullback, but you're in that overbought area on some of these. Let's take a look at the energy, gold and silver, XAU.X. Now, this one rallied up to the 50-week and is reversing, okay? And this one has been fairly choppy, but you've had your 180 to 198. Here are the names in the minors. The best of the breed, some of them are in there. Now, granted that it's still in a bear mode on a weekly because you're reversing here, but the bull starts as this weekly signal gets above here at some point as far as that goes. The Morgan Stanley Commodity Related Index, CRX.X, is up here, and that 50-week is being challenged. It's about to pop a weekly buy signal, which is a bull, and you're at 86.98. That's resistance in the CRX. And what names do we have there? We got the BHPs, we've got the Alcoas, you've got the Newmont Minings, you got the Hesses, the FCXs, the BHPs, the Tyson, the Potoshes. You got all of these things that have worked in the past. Gold Corp is in there. Doesn't matter. It's got a reversal. When it hits that weekly bull signal, it's due for a pullback. But once it hits that weekly bull signal, buy signal, you're going higher in that area. That's a fairly decent update to let people know that in the biotechnology index called the Philadelphia one, we'll see where that NASDAQ biotech index is. That's the NBIX right here. And it too has been one bull performer. And it too, in the short term, is 93%. It was 96, 95. I'm sorry. These bull rallies are just tired, and they got to pull back. And that's going to be this sector, okay? And it's outperformed, and it has. That's your biotech. Let's take a look at your drug index, RXX.X. Let's take a look at where that is. That's in a weekly topping pattern. It, too, has a bull weekly buy signal that's overbought. And you're hitting peak levels on pullbacks in this index. They'll be buyable. Yes, they will. The cyclical index, we already covered it, but the consumer one, that's a CMR.X. And it too has rallied on up to 2011 tops. And it too is a bull. But, sorry, you hit 90, you're overbought. I'm sorry. It's going to come down. That means that some of the names in here, you have to have pullbacks and bulls. And there it is. CMR.X, and it's overbought. And this is the name, Morgan Stanley Consumer. Okay, so this consumer, let's go into the retail sector real quick and take a look. But before we get over there, let's go to the Morgan Stanley stocks. I'm just looking in here. Morgan Stanley Oil Services, some of the name. They got some leadership names in here that are bulls that we're going to put out. The energy complex of DXE, well, hell, this thing here has come right up to that 1290.21 handle. This is where it really got chopped. It too's got a bull weekly buy signal at 86%. It's in a bull mode. Remember, bulls get exhausted. Bulls pull back. The names in the sectors, the leadership is going to be the ones that pay. So that's the Deutsche Bank Energy one. Okay, so we covered that, MMT. The Standard & Poor, I will show you the S&P 100. And why is the 100 OEX.X called the big multinational 100 big cap? Look at that big cap. That thing is overbought. Hey, great move. I'm sorry, the bull is overbought. Bulls will pull back. You're not staying up here at that level. And here are the names that are in the S&P 100. Some of them, a lot of these are going to be just as overbought as the index. Now, let's go to the S&P 500 and the stocks in it, okay? Here's the SPX 500. It too, as I have said, is in a bull run. But let me tell you, you're at 94.5% overbought. You're not going to go much higher. Not in the short run. The bull in the S&P is a bull, but the bull is overbought, and pullbacks will be buyable, and you got bull setups, and that is the S&P 500. Now, if I can get over to my mid cap, which led the rally, it too, the MID.X. Look at how overbought it is. Okay? This is called the S&P Mid Cap 400. You always want to see them doing well. They're all in bull weekly buy signals. They are 93.33% overbought. I'm sorry, you're overbought. Buy the pullback in the mid cap. Look at it, S&P mid cap. Got a problem with that one? Let's go to the small cap that led this rally, as they always do. Seasonality. I'm sorry, you're extremely overbought in the small cap. Buddy, you're at 96, 95. I mean, I'm sorry, that's the end of that move for now, and that needs to be shorted. And I will not be wrong in overbought cycles. Great bull rally with the great bull cycle with the great exhaustion. And that's your small cap, okay? And your Morgan Stanley, your regular biotech called the BTX, look at it. Great bull run. Man, they've taken a great bull here, and it's kept the broader market. However, my MMTs, it's only my due diligence to let you know that you're in major resistance areas, and it's a pharmaceutical. Biotechnology and the pharmaceutical, they're running about the same in the biotech and the pharmaceutical. So what else can we do as far as having you understand the Dow Jones Industrial, the DJI, which is up here at a weekly reversal in the bull cycle. What a great bull. What a great bull. Calendar 2012. But the bull is overbought. And the bull will come down. And the Dow Jones is overbought on a weekly level. Bull market overbought. Weekly bull market overbought, my friends. I must tell you the truth because that's what they are. Now, when I look at the utilities over here, utilities made their high from exhaustion. And here are the utilities. And, you know, they run a little bit different, but a lot of people buy these stocks in this utility sector. At times, I'm saying that it's overbought in the Dow Jones utility. Yes, I am. Now, that Dow Jones REIT, watch this one. They've been buying in there. And in the REIT section, Dow Jones Equity REIT is at all-time highs. Bull highs, 95. Sorry, time to let you know that pullbacks are due, and the bull rally for 2012 is top end heavy at resistances and extremely overbought, and you can stay overbought in channels for a while in bull rallies, but I will tell you one thing, you will come down in the bull rally. You will have to come down in the bull rally. So that other people on the sideline, they're going to be looking at getting in. I'm going to take a look at the NASDAQ Financials 100. And they've been using these NASDAQ Financials. And you can see on the weekly here, that's another financials. Remember, financials have not been involved. And it takes financials in bull runs. And they've started it off that way, but you're overbought in the bull, 93%. So the broader market right now within the bull calendar run, the bull market run, is that the bull market is top heavy and intraday prices will go up and MMTs will sell short as we have done all day. Now that they understand where they're at, they understand that they got the S&P 100, they got 100, 500, the mid cap, and that. They're all overbought. So when we go looking around here, we're looking at, just like in the bear when it was oversold and we were buying. It's just like in the bull, it too has a problem and it gets overbought. So when we look at things like the disk drive, there's not very many of them in here, but Seagate's a star. SanDisk is, well, It will be a bull this year. The WDC has done extremely well. And in some of the storage area, like NTAP, well, we'll just be watching this disk drive, because if we're going to be growing out services at disk drive, and some of them have done extremely well. And the one that comes to mind that we liked long way back has just broke out at $16. It's gone $10 up. It's STX. I am putting out an all-time alert that you're at 95, and the great bull run on this weekly chart is overbought, and we will come down on that STX. So I've given you the walk around, and you know where you're at. You know that prices are exhausted. You know that upper end of shorting up there. We short these highs up here on the MasterCards. We shorted that Netflix. I said it's going to come down lower, and it is. And we are short. And the price line was short at 537.50 down. And this is the mid-morning up or midday update. It's 8:31. We've been open for 2 hours. CoinStore was to show it for $1. It came off of that low of 55.77. It didn't break it. This one here, the Buffalo Wild Wings, made that high and that low, and it too finally got above the $80 strike. Okay? And the Panera Breads, shorting the high, getting long. We did those trades perfect, MMTs. I got to give you credit when credit's deserved. ISRG, I featured that ISRG would come down. It is too overbought. It has to come down. The bull is the bull, but the bull is overbought. And the bull at the $495 and the $500 puts that were bought here are paying. That concludes the morning update at midpoint 2 hour broader sectors, all alert,